So, hello everyone, this is OK here, and we are following live action from the Crazyhouse World Championship. We have the finisher. Let's just flip this round to be from his point of view. We have the finisher playing game one as white against Otto Kolobus Manul, and it's a d4, d5 London system. So just quickly adjust the mic. It looks still very solid from both sides. Otto Kolobus Manul with the Russian flag, so I'm guessing he's from Russia. Katas says, "Go Otto Kolobus," giving him some moral support. And on the right, we have Doooovid against Szura. So Doooovid is probably heavy favourite in this match. So white is refusing the queen trade. Black is staying safe with the material edge. So Szura is basically on an attack. But if black can, if black can consolidate, then he's up a piece and he's got a material advantage. So this is a nice sort of attacking move, g2 ideas. So it's a question of whether there's something like bishop here or something which will make anything happen. Meanwhile, back to the finisher's game. Very solid. He's prompted Otto Kolobus to go for a sack. And so what's the purpose of that? Is it to put a pawn here? Because this square is quite well defended. So Otto Kolobus sacking another piece. Okay, so it's actually quite a good one. I mean, it's 2 pawns to a piece, so it's not a sack. Strictly speaking, it's just an activating move. And okay, so the finisher plays quite a materialistic style, going for his own activity. So I think he wouldn't bite on that bishop, and indeed he doesn't. And the question is queen takes g7 a mate threat? And I think Otto Kolobus must have feared it was, because if you just take back the bishop, queen takes g7, king takes, knight at h5. If you run back, you're definitely getting mated, and if you run up, you have knight at f4 and bishop at g7, so it was certainly mating. So, strong stuff. So he decided to take here and actually suspended his attack for a move, and so now the finisher is pondering. Meanwhile, let's see how Doooovid is getting on in the other game. Well, Szura has managed to pick up the queen, but he doesn't have knight checks. You always have to check. Are there checks? And if you don't have checks, then you're probably okay. And now with a knight and 3 bishops, yeah, he's probably okay. Probably could have just gone straight in for an attack, but he hasn't for now. But he still can, this move, just go straight in for an attack. But he must be thinking, if knight takes knight, do I have even like... Yeah, you don't have queen h1 ideas. Is it quite fast enough? How to get the attack going quickly, that's the real problem. Because knight takes knight will come with threats of knight h5. You could probably still survive, but yeah, this is still looking uncomfortable, let's say. So yeah, Doooovid's got some well, he's got to think how to navigate the issues. Back onto this game, sorry if you were watching this already. Very solid play from the finisher, probably too solid, going for pawn at e7, and this is the live position. I was thinking he should have probably gone straight in for the attacks on f6, but he decided to save material and go for it. So he's going for at e7. And meanwhile, Doooovid's chosen to do knight h3. What's the reason for this again? Knight h3, king takes knight. He's probably thinking of queen takes g2 ideas. I'm not sure if they work, but and Szura is running a bit low on time. He's been playing well though. The queen is providing also coverage. This is all very safe actually. For Doooovid, pawn takes it safe. This is quite a nice move. What am I missing? This is looking a very solid position. It looks like it could go on a while. He's finally played the move I was thinking ages ago, knight at h5. Back here, Doooovid is coming in. Queen takes pawn coming, knight at f5, king up, and where's the mate? Another knight. here, and a pawn here is checkmate. Yes, indeed. Yes. So, Doooovid takes game 1. Back to the finishers game. Wow, this is an epic struggle. But the extra material is counting, you can tell. The finisher's simply got 2 extra pieces because of the sacks that Autocolobus played earlier in the game. And he's quite happy to grind this out. Make sure he's safe, make sure f3 is covered, and don't give away a heavy. Threatening the rook. Very solid from the finisher. Okay, so knight f3 is a threat you should be concerned about. So he just double covers f3. But now, what was the move? So hang on, what was the move played here? He sacks. Oh, okay, that was nice, and I missed it because it was far too quick. I'm just gonna have to open the end of that game. It was just sorry about that. So he deflects the rook because he saw a mate here, which is takes the bishop, queen here. Okay, and it's just a standard back rank mate. So very nice sort of deflecting. And so back to the live game. I think Autocolobus is going to have to be a little bit more saving of material. So this is a nice move, taking the bishop, because if you take back, bishop at c3 comes. And so this is already a piece up for black. Meanwhile, how's Doooovid getting on? I'm sorry to kind of lose. If people are following the right-hand board and then suddenly I switch it, I'm sorry about that. It's just, otherwise I can't really follow what's the flow of the game without seeing it. But looks very nice. He's going for some kind of at g7 if you can get a pawn. Or rook. Rook takes h7, in fact, is a checkmate threat. Takes, queen takes knight, very nice, because rook takes... Is it nice? Hang on, so what's the idea? Bishop takes f6, and takes g7, yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so it's a very clear plan. Probably best not even to take the h2 pawn. Oh, hi there, Deadman. So I'm following 2 games at once here, actually. Both the finisher and Doooovid, and live streaming. Yeah, so Doooovid's got too many threats in this game, too many mate threats. It's definitely, he's taking game 2. Autocolobus has been playing well, but the finisher has a very mercurial style of, you know, squeezing out every piece, and it's going to hurt if Autocolobus drops pieces. If Autocolobus sacks too hard against him, because basically he squeezes out pieces and then defends very well, and I think there's a lot one can learn actually from that, from how to defend when you are up material. I think that's the thing that the finisher does quite well. So f6 and g7 are the 2 weaknesses. So how's he going to defend? You want new pieces, so bishop f4 makes sense. Meanwhile, in the Doooovid game, there's a mate in 1 threat with knight d4, and also this. Yeah, couldn't stop both. So bishop g7. This is actually sort of looks quite annoying because knight at f6 is still all very well covered, but it's at least slightly concerning because knight takes knight, knight takes, queen takes. You'd give up the queen, but you get mated on. Yeah. So actually, the finisher's probably not concerned at all about knight at f6 because it would just give him enough to mate, I imagine. So maybe at e3 will be coming here just to try and create a weakness on f2, and he has all the material in hand to get in. Oh, but as I said, the finisher's not going for mate, he's just going for picking up even more material. And I guess that's his style. But he does have mate, actually, without picking up the rook. So even king f1 at e2 looks like it will be mating. So maybe he will go for it. Can't see it all the way through to the finish, but... So is he going to take the rook, or is he going to go for mate? Let's see, let's try and calculate. At e2, he has two diagonals in hand, so maybe bishop e2, so then we have a pawn to promote. Okay, he just goes the simple route, just grabs even more material. Okay, that works. And the mate is much, the he threatens now is a lot simpler, just a queen and pawn. And then a rook at f1 takes everything. Anyway, okay, so how is Doooovid getting on? He's 2 love up. I should have just checked. Is the volume is working fine? Yes. Okay. Just double checking that. Let's see. Because I'm not. Yeah, I am on Lichess. That's good. Okay. So yeah, the game 2 did indeed finish as I was predicting, although I wasn't looking at it. The queen on the back rank with the pawn to mate. Queen takes bishop, and yeah. It's not immediately mate if you look at the position, because the knight is guarding f1, but he has a rook in hand, so you can go like queen takes bishop, block. I mean, why am I not seeing exactly the mate? Queen takes bishop, block. No, okay. What's the best way of doing this? Rook at f1. Maybe just rook at f1, knight takes, pawn takes, king takes. Knight, and then you use your knight in hand on d2 to finish it off. Knight on d2 and queen takes. I mean, it's a very simple back rank mate, however you do it. Okay, going back to Doooovid game 3. Again, szura is going for the sack. So what's the idea of this? King takes pawn is forced, then knight here. King here just to try and hold on to the bishop. Bishop here, check, knight takes bishop. Ooh, but what's the finish? Queen takes knight, looks tempting, but maybe not quite mating. So, hi there, leper. Takes and pawn takes. Which game are we looking at? I think I'm not sure if I saw you live, and I'm looking at 2 boards at once. So I'm just playing through this Doooovid game. Yeah, it looks like he thought he had something and he hasn't quite got it, so he's just trying to consolidate. The king is on g3. So maybe you're looking at this game. So this game takes. Yeah, takes and pawn takes in this game. Yeah, indeed. And of course, in this position, he could have easily gone for the pawn, but the finisher just goes for the piece. Gosh, he's greedy. The mate in the last game. So the mate in the last game. Okay, yeah, let's just show it again. Takes, and then pawn takes, but then knight takes. Yes, it doesn't. I mean, you need another knight in hand. So technically, rook at f. He has a rook in hand, so rook at f1 first. Would be, yeah. But to takes and pawn takes probably also works. So takes, pawn takes, knight takes, and I can't. Then you need another knight to get the smother. So it's not quite as clean. Maybe I should just open it up and see with it. This is just a cleanest way of doing it after king g1. It's mate in 5. Yeah, so rook f1 is cleaner, but this also works. So if he goes rook f1. The point is if you then go pawn takes, knight takes, you don't have another knight in hand. This is just a slight problem, so you have to do something else. So it's slightly less clean. So that's what I'm saying. In this initial position, the best way of continuing is this. Takes, takes, king takes, and then use your knight here to push him back, and then mate. It's a very kind of minor point, but yeah. Okay, so just to play through this game, interesting. So opening up the f-file takes with discovery, so really nice attacking play. Doesn't go for g6, goes for the material, bringing the queen into the attack. Does he sack the queen? I thought, again, maybe that's not the best thing to do. It's just one idea of many. He does now sack the queen, because if takes back, bishop and pawn mate. Okay, excellent. So he doesn't take back, blocks. Okay, and this is a live position, so we really have a good understanding of what's going on in this game. He's just going for the two diagonals to mate on g6 and f7, and it's going to be hard for Otto to defend. Maybe something like pawn at f7 might be a best try, but it's hard. Meanwhile, Doooovid is 2 games up, and in this game, yeah, it was looking. He still has had a bit of work to do, but it's looking good. He only has a pawn in hand, so actually he has to be a little bit careful. And White's got all these knights, which are a little bit dangerous. So okay, so it's not over yet. It's not over yet, because those pawns and knights could indeed mate. And I missed the mate on the Finishers game, but I'm sure it was what we were saying. No, it's just a resignation. Okay. Okay, so this time we get an e4, e5, and a knight g5 variation in that game. Okay, but this Doooovid game is going to really get very interesting here. Because after here takes, this is a really interesting position for White. White might have something. He did this, and that, yeah, I think I'm not sure if he's got anything anymore. So now, I think White had better in that position. But I'm not sure actually. G6 was covered. Okay, so here, is there any mate? This square is covered. We could try and run, but then they're discovered checks. Oh, yeah. If you could just take that. So yeah, that doesn't work. Could just run here. I can't see anything. He's allowed this and rook here. That's really unpleasant. But okay. Okay. Now White has to find mate, and there is a mate here for sure. What? That must be a mouse slit. Surely. Just knight here was mate. Yeah, that's surely a mouse slit. Quite insane. If I just... So, this position is clearly a simple mate. Yeah, he probably wanted knight at d5. If you try and run... I mean, no. Yeah, that's not quite working, because the king can go to g8 and the rook is actually covering. But use a bishop, maybe? Okay, there are better ways of doing it. Still, knight at f6 apparently is a better way of doing it. Because if you take, knight takes, yeah, that's strong. And what else do you do? That's it. But I was thinking bishop at f7. Yeah, that would actually not quite work. Rook is still covering g6. Knight at f7 is a very nice solution there. But I was thinking even earlier. I think this is the key position. Yeah, this is a key position. Does White, and this is not so clear, does White have something here? And apparently bishop takes d2 is best. So apparently there is no direct mate here. It was not so easy. This is a mistake, because... But where was black's mate? That was less clear. King takes d1, at c2 here, takes... King takes was correct. At c2 was correct. c1 queen apparently... It's just really hard position actually. c1 queen, king takes, knight at e2, king b1. Okay, so this is actually really hard. And the engine is just really not sure who's winning this. So I'm not going to spend too long. Like the engine thinks White might be able to get away, but it's really complicated. So Doooovid takes a 3-love lead, and in game 4 we have a French defense. just to say the theory in this position is actually this, hitting g7, but the move I would normally play myself actually is just the very solid at d4. Black gets a pawn in hand, but white has a big positional edge, but black does have that pawn in hand. That's say black's compensation. White's got a positional edge and also huge weaknesses, especially weakness on d6. So it's weakness on d6, but you do have a pawn in hand. So if you could waste a tempo and put a pawn on c7, for example, but then why did you play c5 in the first place? So which is why c5 is usually not played in Crazyhouse. Okay, so this is how things are going in this game. So solid, but Doooovid's got a slight weakness on d3, but I think he's got enough of a material edge that enough mating ideas and material edge that this is going to be fine. He didn't want to waste material. He wants to go straight. So king here, knight here is checkmate straight away. So the king has to run, and so he's hunting for a mate here. Knight takes pawn doesn't quite work. Nope. So how to get the queen into the action? Not sure. Meanwhile, in the finishers game, did we miss something? Okay, so that was the resignation. Okay, so sorry, I'm just going to play through this game quickly again. Okay, so it was a knight g5 line, sacking on f7, so lots of pressure on f7. Ooh, okay, so black has managed to pick up that crucial bishop. Takes, takes, takes. Okay, so this is the thing. The finisher is very good at picking up. This is a blunder, this knight drop here, because you lose a piece. And although white is continuing the attack, black is up a lot of material. Okay, but it's still tricky. Knight g6, just king h7. Is there anything? Seems like he doesn't quite have enough. And if at g6, well, the knight's still covering. But maybe at g6 is the thing to do. But yeah, so that's what Otokolabos is pondering. Hi there, Hercules. A simultaneous display, exactly. 2 live matches in the Crazyhouse World Championship. So I'm sorry for the smaller boards, but you get to watch 2 matches at once. So here, this is completely crashing, obviously, from Doooovid. It's only a case of, well, there's no worries even about his own king, so there's no concern even about getting the job done in one go. Could I mute the piece noises on one board? Can I? Don't know if I can. I could make them softer. Yeah, because for me they're not very loud, but I could make them softer. So oh, I see. One of the boards it was really loud for some reason. Okay, I don't know why. So hopefully that sounds better. Let me know. I'm curious how this attack continued for Otokolabos. Okay, he wants this, but then the king takes. And it's like, whoa. Okay, so he just wants knight at g6 checkmate. Very simple. Simple chess. But gosh, the finisher is very good at defending. Knight g6. What did he just grab? He grabbed a bishop. Okay. He puts the bishop back down again, grabs a knight. So he's threatening knight at g6 takes queen. So you've got to take it with the queen, I think. Ooh. This looks dangerous. Now he's threatening knight h7. Knight h7. No, knight f7 is winning. Knight f7 is winning. h7 promotes. This has to be winning. I think queen takes knight first was better, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. No, maybe not. Oh, interesting. So this is just simply going to be a standard mate. Yeah, so nice find from the finisher, noticing that although the queen was around, the g2 wasn't protected. Okay, he hasn't finished this quite as cleanly as he might have done. But okay, no, actually that's fine, yeah. He keeps the king in the middle of the board. Hercules says it helps that the finisher is otherwise engaged instead of adding his commentary to mine. Yes. Although that would be even cooler. I'm actually in the house party, so if anyone wants to join me, they're welcome. So it's quite funny, when the finisher gives commentary, you have like a dozen people in the house party. Whereas when I give commentary, you have, okay, I got one person in the house commentary, Dead Van accompanying me, but not giving commentary. So the finisher's commentary is definitely popular. Okay, so this game was crashing, and Doooovid does take it. He's going to have, if you block bishop here, and if king takes pawn, yeah, you can capture a queen with check, and if there isn't an immediate mate. Okay, yeah. So that's the way it goes. So 4-love to Doooovid. So just replaying, how did this one go again? So interesting. Takes, pawn takes, d5. Makes sense. I'm just... I guess it's just not something I've seen, so that's why I'm curious. And hitting g2, okay, so this is actually a problem, because f3 is not defended. Yeah, so the finisher has a bit of a problem here. If you go rook g1, the problem is takes, takes, and f3. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but this is actually looking very uncomfortable, because then you're taking the knight, and then there'll be a knight landing on f3 again, taking the rook, and so yeah, this is trouble. Otakar was still thinking, but okay. Meanwhile, in the Doooovid game, of course, we got the sack, and he's happy to start the game a piece up and try and come back later. Oh, he sacks back, so he's not so happy to be the one just sitting back defending for most of the game. And very nice threat of at f2, and szura's got real problems here. And the problem is he hadn't developed his queen side. So the volume, is it too soft usually for other people? Because I have that problem, and I can't do anything because I put it on maximum. So to win the whole match, you need 6, just because it's the best of 10. So if it's 5-5, you have to keep going until someone is you go +2, +2. You keep playing 2 games until someone is clearly an outright winner. Okay, so the issue here is basically just picking up material. So yeah. Yeah, so Marlon, is it usually too soft or too loud? Because if you say it's too soft, yeah, I recognize that, and I can't do anything about it. If it's too loud, that's something I can fix. So Doooovid easily takes that game, and so he's 5-love up. It's been quite straightforward. I'm really surprised that we didn't see the line I mentioned in this game. Really, really surprised. It was, I thought, inevitable to see knight takes, rook takes, takes here, knight at f3, takes this rook, and a whole sequence of trades, and light squares are so weak in white's position. But instead we see this, and again, yeah, now it's kind of hard because you'd lose the queen. Oof, oof, what happened here? Oh, I see, the knight was actually defending the... Okay, now there's something I missed. There's something quite important I missed. This move was not just bad because it didn't do this. It was also bad because it undefended this bishop, meaning this knight was needed to defend the bishop. So this is just a disaster of a move. Grabbing a pawn but completely undermining your whole position, because then this piece is hanging. Then this piece then is not, can't go off and do what it likes. So this is a disaster for black, to be honest. And here he's hitting the queen and hitting g7. Black's trying to get some counterplay. It's too late. It's too late. Just simple defensive moves, and white is all over. Oh, Michael was too loud. Okay. See, that's really unusual. Okay. That's really unusual. Okay. So here, Doooovid is just simply going for knight h6 mate, and his own king is secure. And oh, yes, well, okay, so it's game over. This is game over. Doooovid takes the match. 6-love. I'm guessing Zero would have had enough, but we'll see. Oh, I see. The loud volume. See, that's very unusual. Yeah, because often I've had the opposite problem, but I can definitely fix that because I think I can adjust the volume on my headset and make it quieter. So this, I mean, black simply has no pieces, so the finisher is just making sure, as it were, but this is really all over. He has to defend the mate, so knight here would work, maybe. A knight at, okay, he just takes it. So knight at here is the problem if you take back. Okay, let's see a mate. Is he just going to go for material? No, surely he's going to go for mate here. So, but this is covered. Could just grab this. Okay, this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one. Yep, there's a pin, which makes that even stronger. Queen here's mate. So the finisher takes a 5-love lead. Actually, the finisher. The first game was very long, but the finisher. Oh, it's szura, not szura. Okay, szura. Yes, of course, it's Hungarian, isn't it? And S said you're saying it's pronounced like sh. Yes. Szura. Thank you. I'm guessing he's Hungarian. Let's just have a look. He has a flag. Russia. Okay. So maybe it's not Hungarian at all. In fact, it's Russian. Okay. So I could just make this a single board and adjust things, but there's a sort of cost. There's a cost to that. So I think, and this is about to end, so I'll probably leave it as it is. I mean, this is very passive, going at d2. That pawn belongs here, and he's put it on d2. Big difference in the position, and now already black is better. Because this bishop is now dead for the rest of the game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the game ends with that bishop still there. So white is playing a piece down. Okay, finally he's taking the bishop out again. Okay, he took it out pretty rapidly in the end. But he just wasted so much time going this and this. So because he wasted time means the king is still left in the center of the board. You can't make opening mistakes like that against the finisher. He's just going to keep on pressing. Oh, so Sabi is a Hungarian name, and then the Z is silent. Okay, so I was pronouncing it Hungarian-wise instead of... yes, exactly, that's what it was, instead of Russian. Okay, so it's very tempting here just to go takes, but there's no point because the knight checks are covered. So what the finisher does is much nicer, is actually deflect the defender, and also that helps defend your own king. So, okay, he picks up more material, great. And okay, he's going to be coming in here. Maybe at f3 is nice, creates a weakness on g2. Knight g2 will come, knight f4, this is just all over. At f3. Oh, he doesn't have a pawn, but still. Okay, so of course he doesn't play it like that at all. He's eyeing h2, so rook g1 isn't possible. Knight Knight e3 is maybe possible, just takes it and takes here. I think we're going to see that. Surely we're going to see that. We have to have some sacrifices. Now, I have to say, he hasn't developed his pieces here very well. But yeah, okay, so let's calculate. Rook takes knight, pawn takes, knight takes, king here, otherwise knight takes pawn comes with check. The only thing is it does leave a back rank a little bit exposed, but it's really not a problem. Maybe he finds something better, but it looks very good. Yeah, the king does go to f2, and I don't quite see the continuation, but so indeed he doesn't do it. He keeps his material, plays very solid. He's only got White's only got a pawn in hand. How else is he going to defend this pawn? King f1. That's just going to be ugly. So yeah, the finisher really gives lessons in how to take no risk in playing the game. Oh, I see. So Szura means Alexander. Yes, I see. So in the spirit of no risk, I'm imagining he's going to take this pawn, going for at g3. It's an extra pawn. Okay, of course he has bishop at e3 directly, but that's also possible. And knight at f2. Maybe we'll see that instead. Yeah, that's actually pretty strong as well. Because the king can't run up, because that will just run straight into checkmate. So it has to run down. This is nice. Knight and pawn mate. Okay, that was something I completely missed. Indeed, very nice. So if rook takes queen, knight at g3, and pawn at f2 is mate. And if you don't take the queen, well, how are you going to defend queen takes rook or queen g1? Hard. Okay, so we're seeing the mate. He just lets the finisher play it out. So the finisher takes the match 6-love. We'll see if they play on for fun, but that's it. That's it for today's coverage of the Crazyhouse World Championship. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll be putting it up on my YouTube, which has. If you look at the playlist on my YouTube, you can find everything is clearly organized, so you can find all the other action from this year, from last year, from the year before, and even from the year before that, before I ever did any streaming. Are the videos of Jan Lee and Atrophied and Krusky and covering the 2017 World Championship. So you can check all that out on the YouTube, and you can also find instructive Crazyhouse stuff there. So hope you enjoyed the coverage, and I'm actually quite busy now because term's just started, and I shouldn't really be doing this. I should be working away at helping prepare notes for my students, but I just got sucked into playing a couple of games of Crazyhouse, and then I ended up playing for 2 hours, and then I thought, well, since I played for 2 hours, I might as well do this stream as well. So, so thanks for watching. I'm not sure when I'll stream next time, but I'm for sure I will continue streaming. Just I should get on with my work. So if I'm here less often, that's why. But thanks again for watching, and see you all next time, whenever that will be.